We're going to head in a different direction this month because we're not going to talk much about being a better parent. This month, we're going to talk to you about you, because a healthy mom or dad is a better parent. We're going to talk about an issue that most people are afraid to talk about: loneliness. In a 2018 survey of 20,000 adults, nearly half of American adults felt alone sometimes or always, felt left out, and felt that the relationships they did have lacked meaning. Only 7% reported having someone in their lives who really understood them. Social media was neither the problem nor the solution. There was no difference in loneliness between light and heavy users. These trends, many of which seem to have started in the 1980s, are especially tough on parents who may juggle fatigue, boredom, and anger at their situation. How do you combat social isolation and build your own village? How do we as parents defeat loneliness? I know we're not sitting in a coffee shop having this conversation, but if we were, some of you would be nodding in agreement. Parenting can be lonely, and sometimes we feel guilty for even feeling it. We expect parenting preschoolers to be isolating, but we think it will get better as the kids get older. In some cases it does, but in each season of parenting, friendships you can really trust shift and change. Many times, as parents, we get so wrapped up in work, the demands of our homes, and our kids' schedules that we live in a constant state of survival with little room for friendship. You may be thinking that this is not a big deal, but it is, because isolation and feelings of loneliness lead us to embrace some common traps. We lose perspective and believe that our kids are the only ones struggling. We lose confidence and doubt our parenting instincts. We lose gratitude and can't see the good things about our teens. We lose hope and believe cynicism is the only answer. There is so much to gain from defeating loneliness and moving out of isolation, and you are the only one that can make the change. This has nothing to do with your children or teens. You have to choose to open your life to some other meaningful relationships. Here are a few questions to get you thinking about some steps you can take to move beyond the isolation you feel. How engaged are you at the church? For many parents, they feel isolated, but they've chosen to be casual with one place where Christians gather each week to connect: church. I'm not just talking about dipping in a service and then dipping out. I'm asking, are you plugged into a group? Do you serve with other adults? Do you make time to actually connect with others at church? Are you in a men or women's discipleship group? Your church is a great place to start looking for meaningful relationships, but they will not come without effort on your end. Do you have a mentor? Do you have another mom or dad ahead of you that you can meet with just to ask questions and learn from? That is a mentor. You probably need someone ahead of you to help you. Think about someone you respect deeply and ask them if they would meet up once a month or once a quarter, just so you can ask questions and learn. Are you engaging other parents around you? This is a big one. Are you working to make connections with other parents as you live your normal life? Think about the last time you actually started up a conversation at baseball practice instead of reading a book or looking at social media. There are people around you that might be great friends if you took the time to get to know them. In an article on parent isolation, Psychology Today recommends 4 tips to help combat your own social isolation and loneliness. Rely on and disclose more of your distresses to the friends you already trust, asking explicitly for their support and help. You can swap babysitting nights, meals, and play dates. Get out of your home for errands and take a walk just because, unless the weather's dangerous. The fresh stimulation to your brain, health, and imagination is as important for you as it is for your child. The Cigna study found that loneliness and isolation are as dangerous to your health as smoking cigarettes. Remember that more informal support groups exist than you might think, such as your prenatal class buddies or parents of other children in your daycare or preschool. If you are geographically isolated, online groups are terrific and plentiful. talk about social isolation regularly and honestly with your partner. It goes with the territory, even though you probably didn't expect it. Leave the blame and judgment at the door. Identify the problem, give it a name, and then concentrate together on the solutions. This is just a place to start. This month, go for it. If you're lonely and isolated, talk about it with someone you trust and take some steps out of that space. Remember, it takes a village to raise a teenager, and you are not alone.